I'm always been interested in how people come into groups and like what those groups do and what the access to those groups looks like and what those types of interactions look like and why those people are coming together in the first place. Niche is a complete reinvention of the way we think about social networking. It's not really social media, it's not social entertainment, but it's like back to the fundamentals of what made a social network and what made that valuable. My name's Gulczynski. I'm CEO and co-founder of Niche. Originally, I went to school for graphic design, and illustration was kind of my thing. That's like what got me into like kind of the field. It just kind of morphed into UI, UX, or like website work, and that turned into app stuff. And I just kind of found myself rolling into like the tech world because that's where the work was, and that kind of what stimulated my professional interest. So Niche kind of came out of, I think, a professional interest, like almost an obsession around certain like sociological principles about how people come together into networks and what those networks are comprised of and what the accessibility into those networks are. Why are we all in this big network, right? Like what commonalities do we share? Because right now I'm in a network with coworkers and high school friends and my family, and we all share the same like relational status, and that seems kind of weird, right? That's not normally how people come together in networks. They come together around things that bring them together, like background or interests or things that derive identity. And I think that's how people come together in real life. So I want to echo that in our digital presence. So as we were kind of like contemplating what we were going to work on, and we were thinking about maybe professional networks or like different types of networks, and we kind of stumbled across the idea of ownership, of like where does the value of these networks go to? Does it go to the people that run it, the people that are in it, the company that holds the platform? And we basically backed ourselves into rediscovering DAOs. And we were like, wow, there's a model of ownership and a new way of self-governance that exists, but the barriers to entry are really high. So we wanted to like take that model and then amplify it to all the people that are in Facebook groups or like Reddit or things like that, and then build them a purpose-driven home. Give them the value propositions of the technology of Web3. I think the benefit of a new organization of social media, the way Niche does it, touches on, I think, just general consumers, general users, we call them members, as well as like the creators and the community leaders. And I think even brands too. It provides brands a new way to interface with communities in a mutually beneficial way, where they're building relationships rather than just like broadcasting some kind of advertising, right? That's so impersonal. The way we came to Near, we were doing a diligence on like all sorts of other platforms, different blockchains. And really what it boiled down to for us, I think it was accessibility, the ecosystem being, developer friendly, as well as just being friendly in a general term to building complementary things that go with us, right? There's a lot of projects happening on Near that are very complementary that we can integrate with, as well as just general security, like technical requirements. You have to have a blockchain that can facilitate those types of interactions in an economical way and in an expedient way too. Like people want to see the instant results right now. They make it accessible to Web2 founders like myself coming into it. But I think even having been part of unicorns before, right? Being in the founder seat and being in the CEO seat is a very different perspective, I think. Once you take into account all the people that are necessary to help you along the way and what that support system looks like, because it takes a village, it really does. And I'm happy to be part of the Near ecosystem because of the support that they're giving us. Like we really can't do this alone. Generally speaking, I'm really excited to see what our first class of Founders Clubs looks like. I think that's exciting no matter what the project is, like what your first group of users looks like and the utility they found in your product. Like in the early days of Tinder or even Bumble too, we found it was a sticky product. No matter the mistakes we made, maybe even on the engineering side, people were willing to stick with us to experience a product because they found some pragmatic use, some utility, some fun, some entertainment. So I'm really looking forward to that, where the metal meets the road. We've put the product out, we've got our clubs in line, and then to see what the people really do with it. We feel Web3 is like the future of how things are going to be built, right? This is almost like social networking 2.0. And maybe now it's time to put a little intentionality behind it with this new tech stack and the value that it brings toward people, so that we can evolve what people's networks look like and the value that we're giving people and the ownership and the agency that we're giving this is just the next evolution, and I think Web3 like allows us to do that. So like we're really excited to like bring this new rich technology and like the core principles, I think, of like, you know, decentralization, ownership, and privacy, and all those things, how that manifests into a product. I think we're really excited to like bring that to people. Success to me looks like access. I feel like I want to give access to everyone. Everyone should have a network of people that they can relate to and where they can feel like they can be themselves, online or offline. I think the more I can facilitate that, and we can like bridge the gap of someone who's looking to get into a group of people or an interest, to watch them start as a neophyte, work their way through different clubs, finding just their right group of people, and then they're themselves. Then they find just that like niche where they belong, and they can blossom and they can grow. And I think in niche, we're trying to disrupt what people think of social media and what role that plays in people's lives. Because right now I think it's taking a form of social entertainment, which is cool and fun, but it could be so much more.